Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So continuing with the description of sinful men attached to household life and for sense gratification and for the maintenance of family, who commit all kinds of sinful activities, how they will be treated at the end of their lives, after this life, by the Yamadutas. So this description we are seeing in today's verse. Ekaha prapadyate dhvantam. The person who commits sinful activities, ekaha, he alone, prapadyate. Here in the meaning given is he enters. He alone enters what? Dhvantam, darkness, the region of darkness. Hitva idam swakalevaram. Simple to understand. After giving up his present body, hitva idam swakalevaram, his own body, he gives up. After that, what happens? He alone has to enter the dark regions of hellish life. And then, kushaletara patheyo. Kushala itara. Kushala means something good, auspicious. Kushala itara, kushaletara means sinful life. That is the patheyaha. Patheyo. Patheyo means his passage money. We want to go to some distant place. So we have some money for us to travel to that place. Two examples I would like to tell to explain this, to understand in a better way how this passage money works. Because just like the first example, let us take up. Say there is a student. At the end of his schooling, he gets one certificate. That certificate decides which maybe college he will get into, or maybe for a college student, which company he may get into. So that certificate is considered to be like the sum and substance of what that student did in his entire schooling. On a daily basis, how he conducted himself, how he engaged in all of the schooling, the training, the education, everything, how he went through, that will be finally shown in his certificate, and based on that, his next destination will be decided. He may be having a lot of desire to get into this kind of college, to get into this company, and varieties of desires are there. But all his desires may not be fulfilled. that will be curtailed, that will be checked through what passage money he has, or what the certificate, what does it show. So that decides where or what destination he will reach. Another example. In Bangalore, when the first time when I attended the Janmashtami festival, so whole day I was practically there doing some services, and I could make out the first time I'm seeing a very big grand festival, and different people are coming in different queues. And how are they allowed there? And I was surprised to see there is something called green pass, pink pass, blue pass, and some gold pass. Varieties of whatever passes were issued. And I just wanted to understand what's happening there. And with those specific colors, just like first I go to Narasimha temple below. Oh, I could make out this color pass. Okay, they can go in the front, whatever darshan they can have. The other color, they have to be behind. So same arrangement. After they go to next Bala Srinivasa Govinda temple also, some arrangements I could see. And then even the main temple, this color gold pass, some separate special facilities are there which they are entitled for. And then in the prasadam counter also, with this pass they go, some one small packet is given, with another some bigger pass, whatever bigger things are given. And then parking facility, the entire Hare Krishna hill, only some gold pass, their cars are allowed, and the others, it's not allowed, they have to park somewhere outside. So, with that color pass, whatever, they are entitled for various facilities throughout the temple, wherever they go. They'll be identified with their, whatever the color of pass, and the facilities are given accordingly. Of course, that temple, even without any pass, anyone goes, the spiritual benefit he'll be having. But depending on the certain categories, these passes are issued and these facilities are made available. So first time when I saw this, it was very surprising for me. Likewise now, let us take the same example applied in the negative sense. So here we are speaking, okay, with the person who has given the highest donation, some bigger pass he'll get and some bigger facilities. Now we are not here in the Bhagavatam, we are speaking of not of a living entity who is going to temple and rendering services and all of the, taking the spiritual benefit there. No, we are speaking of a living entity who is sinful, who has committed a lot of sinful activities in his life. So, according to the degree of sin he has committed, so he has got some passage money. What is that, the degree of sin? Maybe in the same terminologies if we want to use, there is some dark brown pass, there is some dark grey pass, or pitch dark pass, whatever. Depending on that pass, the Yamadutas, they give him different kinds of treatment in the abode of Yamaraja, in different hellish planets. So if at all he is considered lesser sinful activity, a little light brown pass or whatever, the number of dogs, just in the previous verses we read how the number of dogs, less dogs will bite him. The temperature of the boiling oil may be little less there, and the number of canings by the Yamadutas will be less. If at all highly sinful person, then whatever the pitch dark black pass he has got, then maximum number of dogs will be allowed to bite him, and The temperature will be raised of the boiling oil to maybe 1000 degrees Celsius or even more, and all different kinds of high punishment he is eligible for. So all of this is dependent on the way he has conducted his life in his human form of life. That decides, that is the passage money or what patheyaha for the treatment which he will be meeting in the abode of Yamaraja. So kushaletara patheyo, kushala itara, as it is mentioned here, sinful activities. Kushala means something good, something auspicious. Just I searched through the Veda ways, like somewhere Prabhupada mentions about this in different other places. What does this Kushala mean? In the context, in the portion of the Prachetas, they perform great austerity. Pleased with their austerity, the Supreme Lord comes and various instructions are given to them. So there we find this verse, Griheshu avishatam chapi pumsam kushala karmanam madvarta yatayamanam nabandhaya grihamataha. So here, kushala karmanam. What is this kushala karmanam or auspicious activity? Madvarta yatayamanam. Madvarta, activities, anything connected with the Supreme Lord. Those who are engaged in auspicious activities in devotional service certainly understand that the ultimate enjoyer or beneficiary of all activities is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, when one acts, he offers the results to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and passes life always engaged in the topics of the Lord. So this is that auspiciousness, being engaged in the service of the Lord and passing his life always engaged in the topics of the Supreme Lord. And it is said how, even though such a person may be participating in family life, a grihastha, he is not affected by the results of his action. So, as devotees, we need to be very clear that we are not connected or concerned with mundane piety or impiety, material, something known as auspicious, inauspicious, dvaite, bhadra, abhadra, sakale samana, e bhala, e manda, sabha brahma. Whatever known as something auspicious, inauspicious in this material world, no, that's all Brahma only. Then what is real auspicious, real kushala? Anything connected with the Supreme Lord. Devotional service rendered to the Supreme Lord. That is auspicious. In the purport to this verse, Srila Prabhupada quotes the verse from Rupa Goswami, Iha yasya harer dasye karmana manasa gira nikhilasu avasthasu api jivan muktaha sa uchyate. That person, even though he may be living in this material world, engaged in all kinds of seemingly material activities, involved even in family life, engaged in varieties of so-called material activities, but still karmana manasa gira. His activities, his mind, his speech, everything is dedicated for the Lord's service. If this is done, nikhilasu avasthasu api jivan muktassa uchyate. He is leading a liberated life, though he is still bounded within this material body. Then Srila Prabhupada says, this Krishna consciousness movement is therefore the greatest boon to humanity, because it keeps one always engaged in Krishna's service. So how this Krishna consciousness movement is the greatest boon to humanity? Because it is here that living entities are trained to use up all of their abilities, whatever karmana, manasa, gira, their activity, their speech, their mind, everything in the service of the Supreme Lord. So it's the greatest boon to humanity. The devotees think of Krishna, act for Krishna, eat for Krishna, sleep for Krishna, and work for Krishna. So all of their eating, sleeping, working, and all of these things, everything they do for Krishna. Thus, everything is engaged in the service of Krishna. A total life in Krishna consciousness saves one from material contamination. So this is how a total life in Krishna consciousness saves one from material contamination. If at all we are materially contaminated, we commit sinful activities, and that will act as a passage money for us to be taken to the abode of Yamaraja and makes us suffer different kinds of sufferings available in those hellish planets from the hands of the Yamadutas. On the other hand, we make our life completely kushala, auspicious, by engaging all of our faculties in the service of the Supreme Lord. Then we'll be away from material contamination. As stated by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaja, Prabhupada quotes this verse, Shri Hari Sevaya Yaha Anukula Vishaya Baliya Tyage Haya Bhula. If one is so expert that he can engage everything or dovetail everything in the service of the Lord, to give up the material world would be a great blunder. So it is said here how, if at all one has got this nice chance, facility for being engaged in the service of the Lord in the material world, simply desiring to go away from this, a person, a devotee commits blunder. One should learn how to dovetail everything in the service of the Lord, for everything is connected to Krishna. That is the real purpose of life and secret of success. So this is the real purpose of life, and this is the secret of success. Whatever we have, using all those things in the service of the Supreme Lord. It may be our ability, different kinds of talents, our energy, our speaking ability, the money or the property, the wealth, whatever we have, everything, when it is used in the service of the Supreme Lord, that is really beneficial, and this is actually the purpose of human form of life, and this is the success of human life. Then some more important points Srila Prabhupada mentions in the purport. Let us see one by one. When a man earns money by unfair means and maintains his family and himself with that money, the money is enjoyed by many members of the family, but he alone goes to hell. This is another important point. As it's mentioned in the verse, Ekaha prapadyate dvantam. The man, the head of the family, he commits sinful activities to maintain the family. And okay, he has committed some sinful activity. Through those sinful activities, he has earned money. But that money is used for the maintenance of the entire family. Is it that the entire family is considered equally sinful? The answer is no. The family people, they may enjoy the results of that, but the person who has committed that sin, he alone, he goes to hell alone. For example, if a man secures some money by killing someone and with that money maintains his family, those who enjoy the black money earned by him are also partially responsible and are also sent to hell. So the others, they are partially responsible, but he who is the leader is especially punished. The result of material enjoyment is that one takes with him the sinful reaction only and not the money. This is a very important thing what we should note. How much ever money we earn, how much ever property we earn through various questionable means, at one point of time, all those things we have to leave. But we will carry. What do we carry? The sinful reaction we have to carry. We cannot escape from that. But all the hard-earned money through sinful activities we have to give up. We have to leave it here and go. But while going, we'll be carrying the sinful reactions only, which will act as the passage money for us to enter into different kinds of hellish regions. So, in conclusion, Srila Prabhupada says, the great learned scholar Chanakya Pandita says, therefore, that whatever one has in his possession had better be spent for the cause of Sat. Sat, what is this Sat? Sat, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because one cannot take his possessions with him. They remain here and they will be lost. Either we leave the money or the money leaves us, but we will be separated. The best use of money, as long as it is within our possession, is to spend it to acquire Krishna consciousness. So the money, whatever we have earned, through whatever means it may be, it will never stay with us. Either we may have to give up that money, or the money will forcefully leave us and go to someone else. So Chanakya Pandit, an experienced personality, he says, better use your possessions in the service of the Supreme Lord for the cause of Sat. Cause of Sat means that which is eternal, eternally which is there with the spirit soul. So whatever we have, it has to be spent for that purpose. Then that is real or good usage, or that is real kushala or good for that living entity. Just yesterday, Advaita Acharya Prabhu's appearance day, we were discussing how Advaita Acharya, as an ideal grihastha, spent all of his wealth, time, energy, everything in the service of the Lord. He, his wife, his family members, his property, everything was used in the service of Lord Chaitanya. So in the context of how Advaita Acharya, the way he received Chaitanya Mahaprabhu after he took sannyasa, we heard how he conducted a festival, practically every day, 10 days festival. 10 days Mahaprabhu stayed in his house, and Advaita Acharya, so many people gathered there and everyone performing Sankirtana. His house was practically converted into Vaikuntha-puri, it is said. Anande nachaya sabe bali hari hari Acharya mandira haila Shri Vaikuntha-puri. It was practically converted into Vaikuntha-puri. And then Advaita Acharya Sabakare Vasadila Bhakshya Annapana, he took care of the innumerable devotees who arrived there for their food, for their accommodation. Bahudina Acharya Gosai Karila Samadhana, he maintained all of them just like a father. And then Acharya Gosaira Bhandara Akshaya Avyaya Yata Dravya Vyaya Kare Tata Dravya Haya. How much he was spending for taking care of devotees, the Supreme Lord, for all of these things. His Bandhara, his stock, it had become practically Akshaya Avyaya, inexhaustible. More and more he is spending and more he is getting. And then finally it is said, Acharyera Shraddha Bhakti Griha Sampada Dhane Sakala Safala Haila Prabhura Aradhane. All of his house, all of his possessions, whatever he had, everything he used in the service of the Lord, through which Sakala Safala Haila Prabhura Aradhane. He used it in the Aradhana of Lord Chaitanya, because of which everything became Safala or successful. So likewise, devotees, in whichever ashrama we are situated, whatever we have earlier heard of the story of Shrutadeva, Brahmana Shrutadeva and Bahulashva also. One person was a great king in Mithila. In the same state, there was a very poor Brahmana, Shrutadeva. Both of them, with whatever means they had, they served the Supreme Lord and made their lives successful. So that's what is recommended here. On the other hand, if we don't engage whatever we have in the Lord's service, as we find in this verse today, that person alone enters the hellish regions after giving up this body, and whatever sinful activities he has committed, kushale tarapatheyaha bhuta drohena yadbhritam, by being envious towards other living entities, through questionable sinful ways he has earned money or whatever, and on that will act, all the hard earned money he has to leave and go, but the sinful reactions he will carry, and because of which he will be subjected to punishment by the Yamadutas. Let's conclude here. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.